Lloyd Pye, 1946 to 2013, was a renowned researcher, author, and lecturer who was known for his captivating speaking style and amusing Southern expressions. His research included intervention theory, hominoids, bigfoot, yeti, etc., and the origins of mankind. He gained fame for his book, Everything You Know Is Wrong, which details an astonishing selection of facts that have been left out, forgotten, or even deliberately concealed to prove life originated elsewhere and what occurred once it arrived on Earth. The origin of life on Earth is a highly contested question, with many theorizing and debating for both scientific and religious purposes. The answer to why we are here may lie in understanding the deeper meanings behind ourselves and our environment. The resolution of conscious and unconscious thought and belief is necessary to end bloodshed. The two major theories for the origin of life on Earth are scientific and naturalistic, with no evidence of an external influence, whether that source be divine or extraterrestrial. Religion and science take two opposite views of creation, with no in-between for debate or negotiation. Two camps are locked in certainty, each believing their own logic and ideas to be true while being able to easily refute the opposing side. Science disputes the biblical timeline of creation, and those of faith remain unmoved by scientific evidence. Faith requires that they accept the biblical account no matter how dissonant it might be with reality. There is no evidence to support the idea of transmutation of species, as proposed by Charles Darwin's theory of gradual evolution. Darwin's visit to the Galapagos Islands in the early 1800s revealed species which had adapted to their specific environment. Finch beaks and tortoise shells were adapted for different food sources such as fruit, insects, and seeds. Darwin's observations of variation in body parts led to the assumption that those changes could be magnified over time, resulting in the evolution of entire species. Voila! Darwin's work on gradualism, published in 1859 in On the Origin of Species, has caused intense debate between science and religion for over 150 years. Those of faith and those who believe in science both lack knowledge on how life came to be on Earth. Those with a worldview based on divine revelation should move on, as they won't like what is to come. Neither side knows what they are talking about. Those who believe life spontaneously sprang into existence from prebiotic seas are called Darwinists. High school chemistry shows that heating can break chemical bonds, making it difficult for Darwinists to prove their theory. Darwinists believe life spontaneously animated itself after the continental threshold of 2.5 billion years ago, when the water in the seas was cool enough for chemical chain reactions. They do not allow for outside intervention. Science reaches a consensus about assumptions in a field it has not fully mastered, then those assumptions are believed as facts until the real facts become known. This has happened with Isaac Newton's assumption about the speed of light and the universe's expansion. In the 1970s, discoveries showed that life's origins were much older than anticipated, going back nearly to the point of coalition 4.5 billion years ago. Fossilized stromatolites in Australia dated to 3.6 billion years old, making 4.0 billion years the new starting point for life on Earth. At 4.0 billion years ago, the proto-Earth was a seething cauldron of lava, cooling lava, and steam, making it difficult for Darwinists to prove their theory. Charles Darwin was wrong. People who believe in God and people who believe in science don't know the answer to how life started on Earth. They both have different ideas, but neither one is sure. We can learn from Darwinists that life on Earth began from inorganic chemicals in the prebiotic seas. They believe that the chemicals had to be at a certain temperature for them to form complex molecules. Life began on Earth about 2.5 billion years ago when the land and seas were formed. Scientists believe that the water in the seas was cool enough for chemical reactions to happen, which caused life to start. Science is about learning new things and understanding the world around us. Scientists make assumptions about how things work and then try to prove them. Sometimes these assumptions are correct, but sometimes they are wrong and need to be changed. Scientists have discovered that life on Earth is very old, dating back almost 4.5 billion years ago. This is much older than they originally thought. They found fossils in Australia that were 3.6 billion years old. Charles Darwin had a difficult challenge. He had to figure out how life began on Earth, which was a very hot place a long time ago. Scientists have discovered fossils of the first living things on Earth. They were very small and simple, but still very complex compared to the smallest viruses. Living things need food and water to survive. They also need to be able to reproduce and get rid of waste. Viruses are not alive, but they need a living host to survive. Scientists found something very old that changed what they thought they knew. But they decided to keep teaching what they had been teaching and not worry about it. Carl Woese discovered that life on Earth was not just one type of creature, but two different types. This discovery showed that life could not have evolved on Earth, because it was too complex. This discovery is about how life began on Earth. Scientists found out that life started with tiny organisms called prokaryotes. But most people don't know about this discovery because it doesn't fit with what is taught in school. Religious people have different ideas about how life began than scientists do. Scientists want to teach their ideas, but religious people are trying to stop them. Scientists have to keep religious people away by using an old idea that isn't true anymore. Scientists are trying to figure out if life exists beyond Earth. They think that life on Earth started suddenly a long time ago, and it couldn't have come from Earth. If scientists said this, it would mean that a lot of money used to answer this question would be gone. Scientists think that humans evolved over a long time from gradual changes in their genes. They believe this happened without any help from outside forces like gods or aliens. They don't want to share this knowledge because it might mean that something else helped us evolve, which they don't believe. Life came from somewhere else and was brought to Earth. It was strong enough to survive in tough places. Scientists and religious people have not talked about this much, but it is something to think about. Life on Earth may have come from other planets. Scientists think that pieces of other planets that exploded long ago may have come to Earth on comets or asteroids and brought bacteria with them. This is called panspermia. Life on Earth may have come from outer space. Scientists think that comets and asteroids may have brought the materials needed for life to our planet. Some people think that aliens sent capsules to Earth to help life form here. Scientists don't believe this, but they do think that comets may have brought the materials needed for life. They are studying comets to see if this is true. Some creatures from beyond our solar system came to Earth when it was very young and put two kinds of bacteria here. These bacteria are very tough and can survive in any environment. They have been around for a very long time and haven't changed. Life may have been brought to Earth from somewhere else in the universe. Scientists have many questions about why this might have happened and why it happened when it did. They also wonder if Earth is being changed on purpose. Terraforming is the idea that humans can change the environment of a planet to make it more like Earth. It is like the movie Ants, where the characters are tiny compared to the universe. Even though it is a strange idea, it is something that we have to think about. We may be small compared to the universe, but as long as we are left alone to live our lives, it doesn't really matter. Life on Earth began with two simple organisms that could produce oxygen. They were the most durable creatures and were brought to our planet when it was not suitable for life. A group of aliens from a long time ago looked for a place to live and found our solar system. They put tiny living things on all the planets to see if any of them could be a good home. The terraformers know that if the prokaryotes win, it will take a long time for the planet to become ready for more complex life forms. The prokaryotes will produce oxygen, which will turn the iron into rust and fill the atmosphere and seas. This will take about 2 billion years. Eukaryotes are a type of life form that appeared on Earth about 2 billion years ago. They are different from other life forms because they have a nucleus, which is like a special container inside their cells. We humans are eukaryotes. They are bigger and more fragile than other life forms, and they produce oxygen. The terraformers started a program to make a planet ready for life. They waited until it cooled down enough and then they put in lots of different kinds of animals. They all appeared very quickly and were very different from the animals we see today. The terraformers are watching Earth to make sure it is safe. They notice that sometimes there are big disasters that kill a lot of animals. After the disaster, they wait a few thousand years until the planet is ready for new plants and animals. Scientists and religious people have been arguing for a long time about how life began on Earth. Some people think that life was created by a higher power, while others think it happened naturally. But there is evidence that suggests that life was created by something outside of Earth. This idea is not accepted by either scientists or religious people, so it is not talked about much.